Okay, it's 8 here in Stockholm, Sweden, and let's get started with my session. And welcome everybody to how to use shifts in Microsoft Teams for planning absence. My name is Amanda Stanner, and I'm a Microsoft MP and a modern workplace specialist. And yeah, so let's do this.
Sounds good. Go for it.
Sorry, I was too quick.
No. Perfect.
And as it says here, mark your calendars. Hopefully everything will be back to normal next year. So in March, Las Vegas, we have the Microsoft 365 Collaboration Conference. It's fantastic we can do this year online, but hopefully we'll see each other next year. And I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all of our generous sponsors. Thank you very much for making this possible and as great as it is. And this is the, what did we say, the 13th hour. So you've probably seen this slide once or twice, but hey, it's a raffle, so it's fun. So we're giving away 3 Oculus Quests all in one. What you have to do is to visit the vendor's booth, the sessions, and watch the videos. You have to submit your answers to enter the raffle. And you need at least 5 correct answers, and then you can submit for a chance to win one of 3. And there will be 1 in Americas, 1 in APAC, and 1 in EMEA. So here's the link. So be sure to answer the questions, and hopefully one of you will be the lucky winner. And also, before I get into my session, I want to just tell all of you to consider donating to the following charity relief funds. It's United Ways and International Medical Corps. So that was all of the pre-stuff. So thank you to our sponsors. Consider donating and don't forget the raffle. Now let's get into it. And just as I said before, hi, my name is Amanda Stanner and I blog, tweet, and I love to talk about Microsoft Teams. I think Teams is a great place where you can do a lot of fun things. I'm a Microsoft MVP in Office Apps and Services, and during the days I work as a modern workplace specialist at Avega Group, which is a Swedish consultancy firm. And I thought it would be fun here to add my little Swedish flag, as this is a large global event with people from all across the globe. And so hi, a little wave from Sweden, the little country up in the north. So fantastic to see so many speakers and so many nationalities. And during the days you can find me at Twitter at Amanda S. Stanner and on my blog amandastanner.com, where I usually blog about how to do normal things for normal users. So be sure to check it out. Okay, so that was it. Now let's get into the fun parts. So what will I be talking about today? Well, I would say it's about 4% talking. So I'm going to talk quickly about what is shifts, why should you do this, who can do this, and then the rest will be 96% live demo bonanza. So praying for the demo gods, but I always find it more fun to look at the live stuff. So that's what I will show you. I will show you both in desktop and on my mobile. So a lot of showing. Okay, why? So before we get into the specific parts about shifts, why should you do this? Well, maybe you have an Excel file for your vacation. Maybe you had an Excel file for your vacation last year as well. Maybe you will have one for the upcoming year. And when you think about training, is there even a place where you add the different conferences you're going to attend, or where you're going to add, oh, hey, I'm taking this certification? So you have a lot of different scattered ways of keeping track of your planned absence. So it's both hard for you to see what is happening for yourself and see the history. It's also hard for your colleagues to know what's going on around them, because, hey, I mean, I want to know when my coworkers are working and when they aren't. And that brings us to shifts. And maybe you've heard about shifts from Microsoft before. I know I've heard about shifts in several different keynotes actually from Microsoft, and it's always in the context of first-line workers. Microsoft describes shifts as shifts in Microsoft Teams is a schedule management tool that helps you create, update, and manage a schedule for your team. And Shifts is a replacement for Staff Hub, so it is aimed at first-line workers. And first-line workers, they are important. Microsoft called them the backbone of our company, but that doesn't mean that tools aimed at first-line workers can be valuable for other people as well. So why not utilize something that you already have in place? And that is what I will show you today, is how you can use shifts for not just only managing schedules, but also planning absence. But of course, I just have to talk quickly about who can do it, because not everyone can add a schedule in shifts, but it's not super tricky. So, okay, of course it has to be turned on. And as with a lot of things in Microsoft 365, it is enabled by default. So if you cannot see it, then it's probably turned off, but hopefully it is turned on. You also need a subscription that includes Microsoft Teams, and this was probably more relevant before, as shifts weren't available to the government subscription, but it should have been added now. So everywhere except Teams free, which makes sense. So as I will show you soon when I get into my live demo bonanza, per schedule and shifts, there have to be a connected team. So you need to have a team per schedule, and to be able to create the new schedule and change the settings and approve time of the requests, you have to be the team owner. That isn't either something that's super strange. The team owner gets to, well, control the schedule. And the last thing here that you need to think about is that Shifts does not work for external accounts, even if they're added as guest accounts in your tenant. So this will only work for people that are having a real account in your tenant. But hopefully people that you're interested in their vacation and training and conference schedules, hopefully they're working for you. So that shouldn't be a thing either. So what would I like to achieve? So what am I going to try to show you? Well, I just want to utilize the tools that my company already have and make it a little bit easier to schedule absence. So I will add a new schedule. I will change the settings. I will show you how it looks. and add a different kinds of absence, and yeah, that's it. So let's do it, and let's get into the live demo bonanza. So now I'm gonna okay, so here we are, and as you can see, I'm doing this in the browser, and that's not an issue. Okay, so first of all, where is shifts? And in the end of my session, I will just briefly show you how you could add shifts as a pinned app in the left rail. But for now, we will have to find it through ... And here we have shifts, and with a nice clock icon. And I'm actually gonna jump straight into a shift that I already have TV cooked. But don't worry, I'm gonna create one from start, but this is how it looks from the admin side when we have a little bit more content. So this is probably not how it will look the first time you open it. The first time you will open it, it will be a box that says these are your schedules, and then it will be a button where you can click to create a new one. But when you're inside the schedule, you will click the little hamburger menu in the top left, and here you can see all the different schedules you have in your tenant. And I have a few here, as you can see, a lot of schedules in the Mandacorp, but we're gonna create a new one anyway, and then you just click New Schedule. And here you will see the different teams that you can create a schedule for. As you can see here, we have one that's gray, and that's because I'm not the owner of that team. So it's pretty easy to see that I cannot create anything there, but I'm going to create a new one for a little team site. So I'm going to click Create. And well, I would say time zone and local time, maybe it's more important, or it is more important when you're having actual time slots that's different during the day. But of course I want to be correct, so it is correct here. So we have Stockholm, and the closest city is Stockholm. So let's confirm. And yay, so here it is. We have our newly created schedule, and I will show you from now this time where we have a little bit more content, but this is the view that me as owner will get. I will see the different members. I can flip through dates. Today I can change if I want day view, week view, or month view. There's also different filtering options, but let's take a deeper look at that soon. So first I'm gonna set this up. So I'm gonna prepare it and make it as nice as possible for my team members. So let's go to settings, and this isn't super advanced. I will not change a lot of things. So first of all, the time zone is correct, great. And in Sweden, our week starts from Monday, so I'm gonna change that. I don't want people to copying shifts, and they cannot change vacation with each other, so let's remove that as well. And then we have the requests. So here we have a bunch of different ones that's already added before, but I'm gonna remove you. So parental leave, no. Sick day, no. Unpaid, no. I'm gonna remove off as well. So I only want to use this to have a look at fun things, not fun things, but things that are planned. So vacation, that's great. And let's add conference to know that people will be away. And there are a few icons. I'm going to choose the book. And let's add training as well, because that is also relevant. And training, sun, because it's really nice to be enlightened by knowledge. And I think this will be enough, but you could add a bunch of more if you want to, but let's not make it too heavy. So let's get back to the schedule, because these are the settings that I want to change for this scenario. Okay, so now you might notice that there aren't a lot of members here. You can't see a lot of people. Well, and that's correct. And that's a little bit sad or annoying, I'm not sure, but you have to add the people manually. And I prefer adding everybody from the team that should be a part here, because it will make it much easier for them the first time they open the schedule. And yeah, if you're in a team with, let's say, 5,000 members, that's a little bit too much, but if you have that large team, maybe a schedule in shifts isn't the way for you to keep track of these things. So I'm going to add them manually. And what you could do if you're a larger group and not too large is add groups. And groups is just a way of organizing the information to make it easier for the people that's in here to see what's happening. So I'm gonna change the name of my group. Let's call me owner, because that's what I am. And we're gonna add one more group, and let's call it IT. Fantastic. So now we have two groups, and in a scenario where we have a lot of members, when they go in here, they can easily see different kinds of people. Okay, so now let's add a few people into my group, and I'm gonna add everyone here into IT. So then I just click the little person icon and add a member to group. You can only add people that are part of the team. So if the person isn't a member of owner of the team, you cannot add them here. Then you have to just add them to the team, and then they will appear here. So if I'm searching for someone and I cannot find them here, well, they aren't a member of the team. And like I said, no, only people in your tenant. So let's add 3 people to make it fun. Okay, and Lucia as well. Fantastic. Okay, so now I changed the settings. I added a few different time offs. I added 2 groups, owner, IT, and I added a couple of members. So that's basically it to get started. Now let's move into how it looks for the user. Okay, and still in the browser, but now I'm logged into the Happy Seal Luci, as you can see here. And okay, so the same thing here. We don't have shifts in the left rail. So the first time you're going to start using this, if you haven't added it in the left rail, which I will show you, then you probably need to tell the people in your team that, hey, we're going to start using shifts for planning absence. So this is where you can find it, and this is how you will do it, because it is pretty hidden, and there are no notifications right now in the desktop and browser version. So a little bit, yeah, you just have to make sure. So we're going to click ... And here we have it again. We have shifts. Let's click it. And this is Amanda Corp. So we're going to change to a little team site. Okay, and this is what we get from the other side when you're not a team owner. And I'm going to show you the different components, and then let's try to add some absence. So we have the today. If we want to come back to today, we can browse backwards and forwards. You can also click here to see. Just as on the when I showed you from the team owner, we can change from day, week, and month. I think month is easiest to get an overview, so we're going to change that. You could also print the schedule if you want to. And then we have some different filtering options. So if I want, I could decide to filter for different groups and different people. And something you might notice here is that, okay, this is only Luci. Where are Belinda and Alida? Well, that's because the view from the standard is your shifts. So if I want to change to team shifts, now I can see what everybody in my team is doing. So fantastic to get the overview. And as I said, as you get more and more members, the grouping could be important. Now it's easy to see here, okay, owners and IT. Okay, so let's request for some time off and see how it looks. So we have this little tab called requests. I'm going to click it, and well, it's really empty here because Luci hasn't requested for anything yet. So let's click new request and straight off into time off, and all day or not all day. We will choose the dates. So Luci is actually going to choose yesterday until Friday, and he's at Microsoft 365 Virtual Marathon, so it's a conference, and he wants Friday off so he can just take everything in and relax. So Microsoft 365 Virtual Marathon. Okay, so let's send the request. And now you can see here we have one request in progress, and as the requests keep on growing, you will see them here for this schedule. So it's easy to go back and see what's being approved and what's being rejected. And if we open here, okay, now we jumped back to Amanda, the team owner, and we're in here. We're in the schedule. As you can see, I don't have a notification. There's nothing on my activity bar. Nothing here is happening. So what I have to do in the desktop or the browser to see if I have any new requests to approve or reject, I click requests, and here I can see it. So this is something that makes it, at least in my opinion, really, really obvious that shifts maybe is primarily for people working from your cell phone, because there it's completely different, which I will show you soon. But you can see the requests here, and yep, Microsoft 365 Virtual Marathon. It's the 27th to 29th, and of course I'd like Luci to learn. Yay! And we will approve it. Fantastic. Okay, so if we just switch back briefly to Luci, as you can see here, now it's approved. I get the comment. I can see that it's completed. So if I would add a new request here, let's add one. Let's take a long weekend. That would be nice. Okay, so vacation, long weekend. Send request. And now you will see here we have our completed and we have our in progress. So let's see if we can switch over to my cell phone. And that is also okay. Gonna just prepare it here. Oop. Let's make it full screen. Okay, so now I'm in my cell phone and let's open Microsoft Teams. And okay, so first of all, we can see that we have a new notification here. So let's click it. And yeah, a lot of things happened here. So the first notification we will see here is Amanda approved your time off. And that is the time off I just showed you that we said, of course, Lucy, I want you to learn a lot of new things. So already it's easier and faster in our mobile. So let's start with adding a new request once again, and then I'm going to switch over to Amanda and see how it looks. So okay, it's hidden here as well, of course, so we have to click more, and here we have shifts. And in the top you will see what shift you're logged into, and this is Amanda Corp, and we're going to change it because we want to be logged into a little team site. And hopefully you won't have 10 different schedules as I have here in my little tenant, but what do you want to do and what can we see here? So I changed the schedule, and what we have here is our different planned time offs and the possibility to add new requests. So I'm going to click first the little plus sign here at the top to show you. And here we can click time off. The theme is preset to a little theme type of time off, so I can change here between the different ones that we added. I'm going to add training and all day. Yep, sure, it can be all day. And here, if you see that on the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, I already added something here, so it gives me a reminder that maybe you shouldn't be off that day as well. Or again, because you're already off. So let's pick next week, the 3rd. I'm going to do a certification, writing. Let's see if I can spell writing exam. Okay, done. And the request is pending. So as you can see here, it's pending, and I could cancel it if I want to. So let's get back and let's see if I can find Amanda here. And here we have Amanda. And here you can see I have 2 notifications. Oh, I have 3 notifications. So Lucy is asking for a lot of time off. And let's click the top one. And so here I can see it's from Lucy. I can see the date. I can see what kind of time off. I can see the reason. So writing exam. Go you. Of course I want Lucy to learn, so I will approve his exam. And let's get back. And let's click the one before. And he wants a holiday, and now I want him to work. Sorry, no. Decline. And if we switch back briefly to Lucy again, we're going to see if we got any notifications. Come on. Okay. It didn't show, but we got the notifications. So you can see Amanda approved your time off and Amanda declined your time off. So it's super easy for us to go in the mobile and get notifications, easily send for time off and see what's happening. So let's just click at my schedule, and here I will see it's been added when I'm doing my certification, the 3rd of June, but the time off that was denied or declined by the angry manager owner is not showing. And if I click here requests again, you could see here that you could also see the approved ones, but also the declined ones. And if I would have anything here in progress, then I would be able to see the ones that are in progress. So that is how it looks, and that is how you could be managing time off from shifts in Microsoft Teams. The last thing I would like to show you before I do a little bit of my 4% talking is what you could do if you really want to make sure everyone is easily seeing shifts in Microsoft Teams. And so let's disconnect and open here. And what I will show you now is adding shifts as a pinned app in the left rail. This isn't something that I would do if I weren't sure that everyone in my organization were to use shifts. You could also have different shifts, different policies, but let's just imagine that everyone in Amanda Corp is going to use shifts, and therefore everyone needs to see it. Okay, so, and also, of course, to be able to do this, it's not only a team owner, you need a little bit more permissions to be able to go into the Teams admin center to do things. Okay, so here we are, we're in the Teams admin center, and it's already opened here. Let's close it. No, so we have the Teams apps, and in the left rail, the things added there, they're called apps. So we just want to change our app policy and add something there. And as default, we already have two ones. We have the global one and we have the first line worker. So actually, let me just show you the first line worker. And if we look at the first line worker, they have activity and then they have shifts. So as I said, shifts is primarily for first line workers. That's why they have it as a pinned app as a default. That's why it's working a lot better with notifications on your cell phone. But anyway, let's cancel and open our global one because I want everyone to have shifts. And then we add an app, search for it. Oh, add. And yeah, it can be in the bottom. And when I save it, some time passes by, people will see shifts right in the open. I don't think it will happen instantly, so but it will be added here and you will always see it there. So it's super easy and smooth if you really want your organization to use shifts. So let's get back into the presentation. And that's it. So what did we do? Well, we set up a new schedule and shifts for a team in Microsoft Teams. I added all the team members, and I show you how you could add a group as well, or different groups if you want to divide the team members into smaller groups. I also changed some of the settings, and as you saw, there aren't a lot of settings to change and to fix. So, but we made sure there won't be any open shifts to trade, and we made sure that the time off available is training, conference, and vacation, and that is up to you to do what you'd like. And then I showed you how it looks both in desktop and in mobile. I showed you how it looks for the team owner that approves and declines the requests, and I also showed you from a team member. And as you could see, it was a little bit better in your cell phone, but more about that soon. And then I ended with adding shifts as a pinned app in Microsoft Teams, so it's a little bit easier for everybody to reach it and to see that, hey, we're using shifts here in our organization. So some potential next step, what could make this better? And I tried this a bunch of times and I've given it a lot of thought, and these are my opinions. So you could create flows in Power Automate. We have a few actions in Power Automate for shifts. They are in preview, and from what I've seen, there are no triggers. There are nothing that could start a new flow. For example, I mean, my dream scenario would be every time someone in my team's requests for time off, I would like to get an email. I hate email, but in this case, I think it would be a good use of an email. But that is something that you have to try and test. I'm not a Power Automate pro, but there are a few actions, shifts actions in Power Automate which could do cool things, I think. Also, something that I hear from people when we're discussing how you could use shifts is a connection with Outlook. So people are asking for it to be a little bit easier to connect with Outlook, to add your time off, etc. in your calendar, and that is something that is planned. I added here a link to Microsoft Teams user voice, and I love Microsoft Teams user voice, or the concept user voice. So it's a place, if you haven't heard about it before, where you have an idea, there's some feature or functionality that you're missing, you go into the user voice, and I would say 9 out of 10, you search for it and someone else have already wished for the same thing, and you vote it or you create a new one, and Microsoft actually looks at what's happening at user voice. So if you're missing something, just add it. Make the people you know around you at work in your community vote on the user voice, and hopefully it will be planned. So the connection with Outlook, it wasn't there, but now Microsoft is planning to create some sort of connection with Outlook. And also, this is definitely a user voice that I voted for and would vote for it again, and that is the possibility to add a schedule and shifts as a tab in a team. Since, okay, yep, for us that aren't first-line workers, we're sitting with our computers, the schedule is connected to a team of course, I want to have it as a tab, so it's easy for me to be in my team and have a look at everything connected to the team. The last time that I looked at this user voice, it wasn't planned, but when I looked yesterday or the day before that, it was planned. So once again, the power of the user voice, it's fantastic. Make sure to go in, have a look, vote on things that you like, and I know Microsoft really looks there. So enough with the user voice. And the next slide here is a little bit out of reach, but I really wanted to share this. A couple of weeks ago, it was the Business Application Summit, which is Microsoft's big conference for business applications. And something that they announced there is that Dynamics 365 Human Resources will get an app in Microsoft Teams. And I've added the link here to Malin Donoso Martinez blog where she talks about it. And if you have Dynamics 365 Human Resources, that will basically be able to do sort of similar things to what I showed you, but in a little more advanced manner. So be sure to check out that blog post. And if you have Dynamics 365 Human Resources, maybe that's a better option. I think it's in preview now. And now I don't want to talk anymore about Dynamics 365 because I'm not, I don't know a lot about that. So that was it for me, a little bit early, but now we have time for some questions. And but thank you very much for listening to me. Like I said, you can find me at Twitter, Amanda S. Stanner, and at my blog, amandastanner.com. I've written a blog post about how you could create this absence planning in shifts. So just search for it and you will find it if you want to have the steps in texts. And I added a QR code. I'm going to change to this slide because here you'll see a QR code both for me. So please give me feedback and please give the event feedback. And yep, so that was me. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay, so I can see we have a question here from Sally. What is the maximum number of people you would recommend being added to one shift? I think it depends on, I mean, I usually say I'm like a manual worker, so I don't have a problem with scrolling and looking and searching. So I would say it depends on the team you're working with, but probably not more than 20 is a number that feels good, but I know that is not a large team, but yeah, so pretty small. Not for the whole company, rather for a department. Okay, can you do check-ins, check-outs for when people arrive, leave at work? Yes, you can, I think, but I haven't used that feature. But if we do a quick, if we just take up this quickly, and I think exactly. So there is something called time clock, time tracking reporting. Time clock comes with mobile clock in and clock out exportable time reports and optional location detection. Begin setup. But I haven't tried it myself, so I don't want to say how it works and if it works well, but I know the feature is there. You could use it for that. So I will stay here for a couple of more minutes if you have any questions, but otherwise, thank you very much and good morning, good day, good night, dependent on where you are in the world. Here, I'm just about to start my day, and be sure to stay for the rest of the event. There are a lot of great speakers and a lot of super interesting sessions. And give us feedback.